All right. Okay, welcome to Witchpolice Radio. For people who listen to the show regularly, the show is usually a longer form podcast, but I've been doing these quick hits as a way to kind of increase the range, I guess, of who I'm talking to on the podcast. Because there's a lot of artists that are new to me or are, putting out new material, things like that. And it's a nice way to sort of get to know new musicians in the city and in the province. So I think the best way to start this off is if you want to introduce yourself, and then we can sort of take it from there.
Sure. Well, thanks for having me first off. This is awesome. And my name's Cohen Sieg. I'm a 19-year-old singer-songwriter and musician from Eastern Manitoba. I've been writing and playing for the past 9 years and keep on planning on doing it.
Cool. Well, I think to start this off, one of the things that comes up a lot on this show, I've been doing 2 episodes a week for years now, and during the pandemic, people have been kind of struggling about how to get their music out there, how to, get it heard, because you can't do live shows in the traditional sense, and a lot of things have changed. And it seems like from your social media, you seem like you've been coming up with some interesting ideas or being part of some interesting ways to get your music out there despite the conditions we're in. So maybe talk a little bit about what you've been up to as far as being part of live streams and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. When 2020 rolled around, I was like, this is my year, right? I'm going to release tons of music, and then release like one single, and then I can get back in the studio. So it was definitely like thinking, well, what the hell am I going to do? Like my whole life has just been like playing live shows and concerts. So yeah, I think we've all heard of like live streams, and a lot of people have kind of like don't really know what those can be.
Yeah.
And I've just kind of seen mostly like on Instagram and like Facebook, and there's been some like designated apps for them. And actually, I did my first live stream on an app called Lively Studio, and
Okay.
it's actually been really cool. And I would recommend like for any musician looking to do a live stream to check them out, because basically it's built like right on Zoom, and everyone knows Zoom. And then it has like tip integrations. You can sell tickets. It has
cool.
like a chat full of like emojis and gifs and all that. And it's like, I found that like the people watching really enjoyed the experience, because it's not like a live concert, because you're not gonna get that, right?
You can't, yeah.
But
yeah.
it's like it's its own unique experience that you'd never get otherwise. Like I had people from all around the world, like family members from Australia and from PEI and from BC, and they're all got to tune into like I called it like a house concert. I wanted to be like an intimate sort of thing, where people can turn their cameras, they can talk in the chat, I'm talking with them. So yeah, that's kind of like I did one of those in January, and I'm looking forward to doing more of them, because it's just something you wouldn't have otherwise. Like it's something I would never thought of.
Do you think your style of music kind of lends itself well to that format? Because from what I've heard of your stuff, it's very, I think intimate's a good word for it, right? It's very emotional, and it seems like the kind of music that would sort of need maybe a one-on-one type of experience for an audience member. And since I can't get that now, are you able to sort of portray that kind of emotion and with an audience and have that connection through a screen? Like, does it work the same way?
Yeah, I think definitely like my music, as opposed to like, people playing rock or something, that might not come across as well. Yeah, I think the music that I play definitely would come across quite well, because it's definitely more intimate sort of songs. It's like slower kind of acoustic songs. Outside like some looper songs are kind of like more, get people moving, but I think for the most part, as long as it sounds good, people are going to connect to it. And yeah, I had a lot of positive feedback when I did the show, saying just how good it was. And
cool.
Yeah,
cool. Well, where do you think I always try to kind of file everyone away in my head as to where they fit in within the larger Manitoba music community. And I know you're essentially doing folk music. I mean, I'm sure there are other influences coming in there as well. But have you sort of figured out at this point where you fit in within the community here? Because Manitoba has so many different kind of subgenres and little divisions, not in a bad way, but there's venues that really cater to certain types of music. There's little mini scenes of different styles. Have you sort of found your people within Manitoba as far as like-minded musicians or the type of audience that would appeal to you?
It's definitely been like kind of a journey, right? Like I had started doing country music when I started, so it was definitely like there was a big community for that, right?
Sure,
and then I kind of leaned more like kind of folk thinking, like, kind of Towns Van Zandt, kind of Del Barber sort of stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
And then I kind of lean more towards like a singer-songwriter pop, folk pop sort of thing, like an Ed Sheeran and stuff. And it's kind of, I haven't really found anyone that's kind of like the same. Like I found like, there's like Encore that does like pop, and then there's like indie acts, like
yeah.
Fowler or something, or Boniface that kind of do like this kind of indie pop sort of thing. Well, I'm kind of sticking more towards just like a singer-songwriter, like guitar-driven
Hmm.
pop, which I haven't really found yet, but like, Manitoba's so big, there's so many musicians, someone does that, like hit me up, like let's do a
Yeah,
collaboration or something. Like, love to see what people are doing. But yeah, like especially out in the country, like it's a lot of just like country or blues or musicians like that.
yeah. Do you think that being malleable though? I mean, because you have the pop elements, you have the singer songwriter stuff, you have that country background. Do you think that kind of
Mhm.
helps you in terms of appealing to a wider audience because you're not necessarily just the one thing?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think as a musician, especially like in this climate, you have to be flexible,
Hmm.
right? Like it's not like sell your soul just, like for me to play a country festival, like learn like no, it's not like change your identity, but like
Yeah,
I play like I've been playing a lot of markets, and especially like last year, that's all I had because of the restrictions. I was able to play these like markets, and there it's people of all different backgrounds. So I throw in, maybe a couple of country songs here or there. I throw in some like more rock stuff, like some Led Zeppelin or something. If I
yeah,
see some older biker guys, they're like they like that, like they want to hear stuff that they know.
for
And I
sure.
throw in some of my songs. I throw in some like pop songs. I just like, and especially like the music that I listen to, it's not just like one certain genre. Like when I'm in the car, I'm listening to tons of stuff. So that just reflects like the stuff that I naturally enjoy listening to. And it's like, well, if I like the song, I'm gonna play it at my show. So
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense for sure, and I think it's
yeah.
a good attitude to have too, right? Rather to just kind of absorb everything and put it out in your own style, rather than just saying, "Oh, this is what I am. I have to play this style of music," right? So that's yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Being from outside the city, what is your sort of impression on Winnipeg's music scene? I'm sure you've made enough kind of forays into what's going on here in the city. Um, what is your view of it? Like, I mean, that's kind of a vague question, I know, but have you found that it's sort of easy to get into the scene here? Are people open to hearing new stuff from outside? I found that's the case with a lot of people I've talked to, but I'm always curious, for someone who didn't grow up in this, what it's like trying to become part of the scene here.
Um, yeah, so like you said, I didn't grow up in Winnipeg. I live out kind of more like Lac du Bonnet area, if
Yeah,
anyone knows. Um, and I'd say like, yeah, it's not like hard. It's just you just have to get out there and play, right? Like I've always been kind of focused. Well, not focused. I've been to the city. I used to always go to the open mics. My
yeah,
dad would drive me around places. So like, I've played lots of different venues in Winnipeg. I mean, I've played Park Theater. I've played, different areas. So
yeah.
I'd say like for anyone out there, like you just have to go and like do some research. Like just ask someone, go to a venue and say, hey, can I like play here? Like there's lots of like coffee houses. I know
Totally.
Fourth was doing some cool stuff. There's Sam's Place. Like just like go there and say, hey, can I play like a show? And most of the time they're gonna say, hell yeah, come play a show. Like,
Yeah,
like I wanted, again, like I was saying, like I wanted 2020 to be like this awesome year because I was gonna have like this single leading into maybe a bigger project and play a bunch of shows in Winnipeg, kind of branch out. I'm an adult now. I can drive myself,
right.
like it's easy, but that'll have to wait. But
So
once things are better, expect me to play Winnipeg.
good. That's good. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. But maybe that's a good segue into what. Assuming the pandemic ended today, it's not going to. No one knows when it's going to end. But if it ended right now, what would be the first thing you would do? Like, what's your sort of plan of action as an artist once things clear up?
Definitely playing live shows.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, like if things cleared up, I'll definitely just book like every festival, every show I could get my hands on. I mean, like that's probably what every artist is gonna
I think
say
so. Yeah,
too,
yeah,
because yeah, like because when it comes to like album releases and stuff, like sure, like you know, having the ability to tour is definitely gonna impact like maybe not so myself, but a lot of artists, like they're holding music back because they want to wait till they can do like the tour run, right?
Of course,
That's what's comfortable. But for me, I'm looking at like, I know we're gonna be in this for like a long time. So like I have music that I've been holding on to because it was back in like 2020, right?
yeah,
And now I'm kind of looking like, okay, let's look at like a plan this year to kind of like start releasing that stuff. You know, maybe there might be some festivals that can open this year. You know, I've been in talks with some, hoping that they can do some sort of run with social
cool.
distancing and stuff. But I'm still looking at like, we're still gonna be the same thing. You know, whenever touring is gonna come, that's fine. But in the meantime, maybe a virtual tour is kind of what's gonna happen, or just like some live stream album releases. You know, like might be like a CD party over Zoom or something might be
Yeah.
fun. But yeah,
Do you,
whatever it is, you know.
yeah, just roll with it, I guess, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that you're better positioned than, I mean, like I'm almost 40, so I'm, quite a bit older than you. Do you think you're better positioned as like a, someone who grew up with the digital world to be able to do this kind of stuff? Because I've definitely found a lot of older bands are struggling more with just the idea of all of this stuff, the live streaming, social media. I mean, you would have grown up with this all being around you, right? So do you think that you have a bit of an advantage in terms of just being a native to this culture, basically?
Um, yeah, I would say like right off the bat, I wouldn't like if you're someone that's tech savvy, like it doesn't even matter your age, like
Yeah, sure.
if you're 40 and you're tech, but like you said, being tech savvy definitely is really important right now. If you're not out there, especially like first off, if you're not like on social media at all, that's gonna be
Yeah,
like a huge problem if you wanna like be a musician, because like basically it's like 80% marketing, like at
totally.
this point. Like there's like the days of like having a demo and going to a studio are basically over. Like basically your demo is what you post online, and then
Yeah,
the studio is going to see that, and if they see it, if you get like, you know, a couple million followers, they're going to be like, sign this person right now, like,
yeah, yeah.
because they're signing artists every single day. You know, maybe 98% of them fail, but you could be that
Give me the
2% that
2%.
would
Yeah,
really make it.
yeah,
But if you're not on social media, if you're not doing that, you don't even have a ticket to that lottery, right? Like you're not even entered into it. So you have to be on. And especially right now with COVID, like you
yeah,
want to be doing like these live stream shows. You know, maybe you don't have it like ticketed if you feel like, oh, I hate live stream. Well, then just have it free and just
yeah,
roll with it. But people are wanting to hear you. Like you might not think it, but like people are fans of you, like they want to hear your stuff. So do a show, you
yeah.
don't know until you learn. Like I was against these live streams for a long time thinking like, oh, it's gonna sound like crap. And then eventually it's like, you know what, maybe it will sound like crap, but like I don't have anything else. So let's just try
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Yeah. Well, where can people find your stuff? I mean, if someone's hearing about you for the first time on this show and they want to see one of your live streams or they want to hear your single, what's the best option to track you down online?
I would say just go to whatever social media is your preference. I'm on all of them. Instagram's kind of like more like my main hub because that was like the first one I started really using.
Okay.
So it's all Cohen Sieg. That's my handle for everything. My website's like my main hub to find everything. That's cohensieg.com.
Cool.
Right now, you might not find it because I'm actually re-releasing like a brand new site. It's going to be all like streamlined, have all my info there. I'm
Cool.
switching over from Wix to Bandzoogle. If any musicians are listening, Bandzoogle, super awesome. Get free baby releases. Check it out.
Nice.
But yeah, like my website there, and you'll find Spotify, Apple Music, just everything there. Definitely, yeah, check it out.
Cool.